Welcome to Koco Plays with himself. I am Dave Koco, aka the Huge One, aka the Idiot, and this is my new Let's Play channel. We're going against the Miami Marlins. We're the Tampa Bay Rays, first place Tampa Bay Rays early in the season, and we're gonna play Ichiro. Today's topic, we got this often, so we'll probably hit it up. Today's topic is going to be the top 10 things about living in Tokyo. I was going to say in Japan, but I lived in Okinawa and I lived in Mount Fuji and I lived in Tokyo, and I plan on maybe moving out to the country to retire. So it's a lot different living in Tokyo than, say, out in the country or Okinawa or Mount Fuji when it comes to living in Japan. So these are the top 10 things. And don't worry, Negative Nellies. Tomorrow's show or the next show I got, as I'm trying to squeeze these in when I got free time. Look at the Marlins Stadium. So nice, so expensive. Hopefully they're drawing people. All right. Longo, I'm putting a lot of pressure on you. You are batting 300, but why am I swinging at everything? All right, focus. Dun dun dun. Oh my God, do I suck at this game? Dun, 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 dun. Bah! Oh, Longo said what? ESPN has been writing articles all week saying that he's going in a slump, he's a bust, he's not the man he used to be, and then bam, 444 feet later in Miami, 1-0. All right, it's weird calling them Miami Marlins. They look like something from basketball. They used to be the Florida Marlins back in my day, and they used to be all teal. Now they're all like bright orange and everything, but they got Ichiro. And I wish we could make trades, because if we could make trades, I'd have Ichiro on my team. All right, so Longo getting a lot of heat and press in this fantasy Let's Play and in real life, but rocks a home run. All right, so top 10 things I like about Tokyo. Some of them are going to be weird, some of them are going to be strange. And like I said, I'll do 10 things that I also hate about Tokyo, so it's nice and even. A lot of people want to move to Japan, and trust me, Japan has a population problem. They need you. Move here now. Be brave. Don't be scared. When you're on YouTube, everything is awesome, and it's not as awesome as people make it out on YouTube. But then when you go on Reddit or like Gaijin Pop, I think Gaijin Pop got so negative they just got rid of it. Everything sucks, and it's just something in between. All right, the 10 top things I love about it. And some of these are weird. These are for me. And when you come to Japan, everyone has different experiences. And a lot of times people think, oh, well, you live in Japan. You're an expert at where you live. But everyone, trust me, is going to have a different experience. But one thing that I absolutely love about Tokyo, number 10, icebreakers. Your icebreaker is there. You know, where are you from? Can you speak English? Bam! Started a conversation. You can't go to New York City, Tampa, Florida, Atlantic City, New Jersey, and be like, where are you from? They'll be like, fuck off! That's where I'm from. But usually, if you're like, oh, where are you from? Do you speak English? Interesting. Like, it's easy to have an icebreaker. So, bam! So I really enjoy that. Number 9, could be a good thing and a bad thing, especially when you have kids and you get older. But if you're single and young, it's absolutely amazing. There's just so much stuff to do. It's overwhelming. Like, whatever you want to do in Tokyo, except smoke weed, they have. It's just like whatever your hobby is, it's just you're going to be overwhelmed and there's going to be so many options. You know, I love pro wrestling, and there's probably 9 pro wrestling events going on today. Literally. I'm not even being over-exaggerated. If you, go out of your way to find the indies and find that. Like, it's weird because I have a sports stadium maybe 5-10 minutes from my house. Yep, every couple days they have a wrestling event, and every couple days I'm like, man. So it's overwhelming. There's so much stuff to do that sometimes, and this is the thing that sucks about living in a big city, you always feel like you could do it later, and then eventually you start doing nothing, especially when you get older and have kids. You're like, oh, wrestling's in town. Oh, we'll get to it later. We're like, if you lived out in the country, you're like, wrestling's in town. You're like, I ain't missing that shit because I never know when they're returning. In Tokyo, they're like, we'll be back in a half hour. Thanks for coming out. We'll be back in a half hour. All right, come on, Rays. You got to start turning this up. But yeah, sometimes it can be overwhelming. But the thing is, you can do something new every single day of your life in Tokyo, and it never repeat the same thing and still have an eventful life. All right, bam. And not only that, but a lot of the stuff in Tokyo you can do over and over and over again and absolutely enjoy. So it's just kind of crazy how much stuff there is to do. And I lived in big cities. I think there's more to do in Tokyo than most American big cities or European big cities. The only problem is, we'll save the negatives for another show. Food. They have some of the best restaurants in the world. And not only that, but they have some of the best styles of food and best chefs that travel around the world. So yeah, the food is absolutely amazing. Now, number 7 is going to be controversial because so many people complain about this. So many people are like, this is a negative of Tokyo, and I don't think it is. I think it's absolutely awesome. If you speak English and have a 4-year degree, you could be a teacher pretty much almost anywhere. I'm an idiot. That's on me. I got greedy, went for the double play. I'm sorry about that. Shit. But yeah, a lot of people complain about being a teacher. Like, that's the thing. You'll meet a foreigner and be like, I hate being a teacher. I'll get paid way less to do something else just to say I'm not a teacher. And as long as the Japanese staff is amazing, you think it would be about the students. It's not about the students. It's about the Japanese staff. As long as the Japanese staff is amazing, the teaching is like one of the greatest jobs in the world. Now, granted, I am very lucky and don't have to teach for a living. I teach because I like it. So maybe if I was forced to and like, oh, I have to do this, maybe I wouldn't be so up in arms. And it's one of those things that people really complain about, but it's such an awesome job. It really is. As long as the Japanese staff is cool, it's such a great job. It's unbelievable. And I don't know why. I have a couple friends that love teaching, but it feels like we are definitely in a minority. As like if you meet a foreigner, like, hey, where are you from? I'm from America. What do you do? I'm a teacher, and I fucking hate it. You know, and it's just like, okay, you know, what do you do? I'm a fucking full-time nerd. They're like, why can't I do that? I'm like, well, that is as lucky as it gets, baby. Let's pray to Terry Funk. That was amazing. So yeah, a lot of people think being a teacher is horrible. Not me. I think it's the greatest job in the world. Now, granted, I don't have to do it, so that might be an advantage on my part. All right, boop, boop, boop. All right, another thing is, especially if you're from a small city and you don't travel much, you might not know this, but usually you'll get your super gaijins. This is the next one, number 6. You'll get your super gaijins, which we'll talk about, and things that I hate. But overall, if you travel the world, especially if you travel to more than 2 countries, you'll still get a dick that's like, I've only traveled to Japan in my home country, and I'm still a dick. But usually, the more countries you go to, the cooler people are. And in Tokyo, there's a lot of world travelers, so that means there's a lot of people that are just cool. They're just, you know, and I know it's kind of sad, but like if you start traveling a lot, I don't know if it's sad, it's just, you know, I guess something that people that don't travel are like, you're full of crap. If you travel a lot and been to multiple countries and lived in multiple countries, that person is usually a lot cooler because he doesn't give a fuck about a lot of things and he's adventurous, and or she. I'm acting like the only guys travel. Wow, there's girls that travel all the time. I apologize for being a sexist asshole. But people that travel to multiple countries. 2, usually, all right, you're enlightened, but then they become the expert. Like, I've been in Japan 7 years and never been anywhere else. Okay, let's save that for the negativity. But yeah, you meet a lot of world travelers, and world travelers are fucking just awesome people. They really are. Just cool, laid back. 5. Now, some people love driving. I absolutely hated it. I could drive a Hummer in the Marine Corps. That's what, I mean, you know what Hummers are. I could drive a Hummer in the Marine Corps. I owned a Mustang, and I think I owned a second car. I'm not sure if I owned an Explorer yet, but I definitely owned a Mustang before I got the license. Before I got my license, so I owned a car before I actually had a license. And I hate fucking driving. I despise driving. And when you live in Tokyo, there's no need for you to have a car. The transportation is absolutely awesome. The train system is awesome. Now, granted, sometimes during rush hour it gets packed, and yeah, you just you're balls deep into Japanese people. But besides that, not having a car, not driving, is a legit option. See, when I moved... Oh, no, don't. I told you not to go. Sorry, guy on 3rd. Longo's really turning this bad boy around. 3-0. Not too bad. Not too bad. Bam! This is more of a podcast than a Let's Play. I gotta start paying more attention to the baseball. But I absolutely hate driving. And since I've lived in Japan, I never had to drive and get a car. And to me, that's a benefit. Now, some people absolutely love driving. Like my brother, everything about him is cars. Me, if I never have to drive again, I consider that a win. Like, I'm like, I haven't drove a car in over 6 years. I'm like, awesome! Granted, I'm a horrible driver. I got my license in North Carolina, and they just gave it to me because I was in the military. I'm pretty sure I did not pass any test. I failed everything, and I'm like, I'm going overseas. And they just looked at me, and they're like, all right, you're probably going to die anyway before you kill anyone on the road. What are you doing? What are you doing? You drunk son of a bitch. What are you doing? That wasn't me. All right, sometimes, no. Hold on. We're going to pause this. We got to regroup. What the hell is that? Team! What the freak just happened? What the freak just happened? No one told you to run. I gotta cool down, dude. Lou Pinella's losing his shit as a manager. I'm here trying to tell people how great Tokyo is in this video, and you motherfuckers are running around. You sons of bitches, pay attention. I promise you, I did not do that. That was not me. That was the players. Just complete drunk base runners. I assure. No. Good. All right, come on, Rivera. I'm gonna have to start benching some of these guys. Rivera, if you don't get a hit, you're benched. Oh, you challenge me? You challenge me in front of all my friends? All 6 people that might watch this later? How dare you, you son of a bitch? Alright, so, number 4, huge sports. If you're a sports fan, it's just absolutely amazing. So much sports stuff to do, so many great stadiums. And the sport fans are absolutely great. It's not like Philadelphia or Oakland or anything like that. They're just people having fun, and it's so great. It's such a great atmosphere. They got sumo, which is some of the best, it is the best sumo in the world, even though Mongolia is actually destroying people. Hakuho right now is the sumo basho, and Hakuho is still undefeated as of the recording of this. Don't worry. This could air 20 years from now, and that statement will probably still be accurate. Yeah, so you got sumo, which I absolutely love, and it should be experienced. You got pro wrest is everywhere. Baseball, and then they even got a lot of American sports. Soccer is really taking off, and they do call it soccer here. Japan and America are the only places that call it soccer. The rest of the world knows it as the football, and I'm pretty sure they have that annoying accent to go with it. Like, did you watch the soccer game? Like, do you mean the football? But yeah, so it's pretty cool. And in baseball, dude, you have to, like, on your bucket list, go pull out your bucket list right now. You're like, I'm going to start a Let's Play channel. All right, check. Whatever your bucket list is, you have to go to a Japanese baseball game, especially maybe the Tokyo Giants because they're the greatest team ever. But no, anywhere. The fans are absolutely fantastic. All the players have songs. All the teams have their own traditions. It feels like a Brazilian soccer game. It feels like a European soccer game, except, without fucking getting your ass whooped. Just absolutely fantastic. So much fun. I'm going the 31st this month, at the end of the month. I used to have season tickets to the Tokyo Giants, but kids, life, and shitty stuff happened. So now I can only go like once or twice a year, but I still absolutely love it. And the Giants are tied, I think, well, I don't know. I don't know how last night's game went, but at the All-Star break, the Giants were like 34-34, or maybe 38-38, something like that, 500, but in first place. And I was just like, dude, how bad is the Central Division this year? But and it's cool too, because like at the baseball game, I went to the USA All Stars versus Japan All Stars, that little thing, and Longo was there. Woohoo! And I rooted for Longo, and I was the only Rays fan. Not just because I was in Tokyo. I'm pretty sure I'd be the only Rays fan if I was in Tampa too. Support your team, you son of a guns. But no one was cheering, and I was going crazy, and I was like, Longo, and he hit a home run, and the whole section, just to be nice, cheered with me for Longo, and I thought that was really awesome. You're not getting that, in a lot of baseball stadiums. And granted, I know it was an all-star game, but still, it was pretty awesome. So yeah. So yeah, definitely the sports are absolutely crazy. All right, boom, boom, boom. What the hell does this say? Great. Now I have no idea what this says. Number 3. I can't read my handwriting. Longo. Oh, Longo. We had a whole bunch of Japanese people cheering for you, and that's how you let them down, Longo. I put a lot of pressure on Longo. Longo and Archer, like they're our team captains, and we put a lot of pressure on them. I'm not gonna lie, but screw that. It's Longo, baby. And this week, ESPN and all the big things were writing nasty stories about Longo. Come on, Longo. Let's turn this season around and real life season around. All right, we got some great pictures. What the hell does that say? Oh, okay, yeah. Now I know what it says. Yeah. Some people this drives them nuts, but some people I think it's absolutely awesome. Is that Japan is so calm. Like there's millions and millions of people in Tokyo, and they're still calm. And the example I give is when the earthquake happened. Everyone remembers the big earthquake a couple years back. When the earthquake happened, in America, where I lived, people would freaking riot and panic and scream and yell. This giant earthquake happened, and my daughter, all my family members were in a house. Luckily, I was in between jobs, and everyone was home except my daughter, who was out playing that day. And I remember I'm gonna go out there, and I was under the mindset of I'm just gonna punch people in the face to get to my daughter. I was in that mindset. I was like, this is a disaster. There's a huge earthquake. My daughter's out there alone in the park. And I got angry. I turned into white, angry trash. And I went out there, and dude, no one was panicking. No one was pushing. They were just completely calm. And it was amazing how calm everyone was. And I felt so silly because I was ready to kill everyone to get to my daughter. I thought it was like this zombie apocalypse. And no, they were just absolutely calm. And we put out a fire that was next door, and when I saw my daughter, I was panicking. She's like, "Dad, the earth shook," and I was like, "Yeah, the earth definitely shook." So I felt kind of foolish because I was in angry friggin' riot mode, and they were there. All right, boop, 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 boop. Man, I gotta read my handwriting better. I'm running out of things. I got 2. What's this? It's so good I can't read it. Hold on, let's see. What is this guy? 0 for 3? We're benching you. All right, first off, we're going to bench you. You're a pitch. Oh, you're a pitcher? Oh, well, anyway, you're going to be done anyway. Let's get DH. All right, we'll put DJs in. What does this say? I got to read better. Oh! Alright, now I know what it says. I apologize. I wrote this list a couple days before I did this because I was planning on doing this video a couple days ago, but real life really got in the way. Passionate. People are really passionate here. A lot of people don't realize that, but you can be passionate about your job. You'll go, if you'll go to, here's an example. I have a friend, well, I don't know about a friend, but kind of an acquaintance. She used to be a student. She's not a student anymore, but she knows 4 languages, has 2 or 3 degrees, and works at Baskin-Robbins 31. Now, if that was a situation in America, people would just give up, oh, but she takes so much pride in her job. They're so passionate. I started my first business in Japan, and it's hard to start a business, and this is over. Should we go doubleheader? I didn't even pay attention if Ichiro played. Oh no, well, good thing, we still got an inning. Everyone calm down. We still have half an inning. Alright, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have took him out. Oh well. Here comes Boxberger. Bam! Boxberger, there you go, baby. Coming in. Alright, so Boxberger's there. But yeah, and another thing is passionate about, hobbies. A lot of times people work so hard that they don't have hobbies. And, if I was a teacher, or if I worked in America and I said, "Hey, dude, I'm doing a Let's Play channel," they'd be like, "Oh, that's stupid. How old are you? You're an effing loser." But not here. They're just like, "Oh, it's cool." They're so passionate about their hobbies. Now, usually they only have one hobby and focus. A lot of my friends are like, "This is my hobby," and they're obsessed with it. and they're so passionate about the hobby. And like me, it's great because like I love MMA and pro wrestling. And for those that don't know, if you go to America and yeah, we won, woohoo! Does Boxberger get the save? I don't think so. He was an all-star this year. All right, way to go, way to go. Sorry I screwed you out of the complete game there, Odo Rizzi. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. As it look at that, we're 4-0, baby, undefeated. If we go 10-0, we're gonna jack up the settings to make it a little bit harder. But yeah, like in America, if I say, hey, I like pro wrestling and MMA, people lose their fucking mind. They're like, how can you like those two things? Ah! In Japan, not once did anyone even question it. Like, oh, of course you like pro wrestling and MMA. Why wouldn't you? So it's so cool, and it's so crazy how passionate people are about their hobbies. So it's pretty cool. And the last thing is the low crime rate. I just get people. People will just leave really expensive stuff on a bench and walk away for hours and come back. Like it is crazy. Now there is crime. I'm not gonna lie, but compared to most cities, how populated it's just crazy how low the crime rate is. And not only that, but the cops treat you. Well, this is my experience. I'm friends with cops, and I don't go out partying, and I don't drink. I've heard horror stories of I asked a cop for directions, and I spent the night in jail. That's never happened to me. The cops, one time there was a guy who was a foreigner who was going around my town flashing people. I don't know why. That's one thing. That's one weird thing about Japan. We'll save that for weird stuff about Japan. But it was flashing stuff, and I was a white foreigner just taking a walk because, I have back problems, so I have to walk in the middle of the night or I freaking spend a day in pain. Yay! But I was walking, and I was like, I'm a minority. I am the color of the criminal. And I just walked by, and I was like, oh, what's going on? They're like, oh, some white guy's flashing. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, and I was worried that they thought it was me. And they're like, oh, no, you're not the description. We know who you are, blah, blah, just move along. I don't think that interaction happens in New York City. I don't think that interaction happens in New York City. So, and not only that, but like, we lived in St. Pete, Florida, and we also lived in Honolulu and stuff. And these places ain't the worst of cities as far as crime goes. But like, I wouldn't let my kids in the front yard. I'd be like, oh, the only way you can go in the front yard is if you're with me. And I'm like, you can hang out in the backyard maybe when you're around 8, and the windows are open, and if anything goes wrong, you scream, and I'm going to check in on you for every 5 minutes. But here in Japan, my kids go on, like my daughter, she's a teenager, she travels to her school on a train by herself. My son walks to school. And to me, that's just amazing. And hopefully they keep it up. I've heard their crime rate is going up, but from places I've lived to here, the crime rate is so low. So those are 10 things that I love about Tokyo. Put it in your comments what you love about Tokyo, and for those that are like, this was a little too positive, don't worry. We'll do 10 negative things about living in Tokyo, 10 things that I hate about living in Tokyo next. Alright, so woohoo! Undefeated, baby! Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, and if there's any topics you want to talk about, I have another YouTube channel called Koco Sports, and I've been saving up non-pro wrestling, non-sports questions for this channel. So if there's any topics you want me to hit, just put it down in the comments, and hopefully this channel grows. Alright, so like, comment, subscribe, and with that, I am over. Bum, 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 ba-dum.